Well, my watch says it's 4 o'clock, and this is Sue, the Soggy Stamper. Rain or shine, it is stamping time. And I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And tonight, I'm excited to share with you one of the new products coming out in the September through December mini catalog. It is the Jolly Holly 3D, hybrid embossing folder. And this is what it creates. This is one of the cards, and I'm going to be making, I'm going to be making one or the other of them. And this one is without using the dies, so it's all just flat. I used the two-tone cardstock in Garden Green, and then it sanded it a little bit to show some of the details. This one is die cut along with embossed, and it works out fairly well. I put behind it some Stampin' Dimensionals to raise up the pieces that are loose, but it ends up having some that are kind of funky, like this corner here. Anyway, let's get started on. No, first I want to show you the things I'm going to be using. So this is the embossing folder. If I put this underneath, maybe you can see the details. There, doesn't that help? So it's holly leaves with berries, and then some maybe snow drops or something around, some little dots. And this we're going to be using. This is the two-side two-tone Garden Green cardstock. Let me show you a comparison. This is with the dark side, and this is the light side. And so we're going to be using that. This is the die that goes along, and this is the one that you worked with the embossing folder. And you just pop it in. You have to get it the right direction. And then it just kind of, see how it just kind of locks in there and doesn't slide? And then you put your paper in. Now you have to be careful which side you put up, because I had wanted the dark side, but I accidentally put the light side up, and so I have kind of pale embossing things. And as you can see, it kind of leaves some areas. So when you cut it down, there are areas that are kind of loose hanging in there. But anyway, you do it that way, and then you put your cardstock down, position it as you want. I think I'll try it this way. And then you close up your embossing folder. I'm not quite sure how to get it to not slide. There, like that. I'll go run it through the embossing, my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll be right back. And this is the results. And again, I had the wrong side up. So we have the light side. Here, I told you wrong. So we're going to have more of a pastel for our card. Okay, so let's, if I wanted the green side, the dark side, I would have had to put the dark side down. I think I will go get another piece of the cardstock, and we'll do it again. Okay, so this is 4 by 5 1/4, and we put it down with the dark side down and fold it up, and I'll be back. Okay, let's see if I got it right this time. Yes, I did. And I want to accentuate the berries, so you can get a sanding square, or I'm just using a nail file to focus on just the berries. To make them turn white, because the center of this two-tone cardstock is a white core. A regular cardstock is a solid core. But there are times when having a white core is really fun. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to use the dark Poppy Parade to add color to these berries. Let's see if I can get, see if I can get this one a little more sanded. There. So I'm just gonna color the berries in. All it takes is just a dot. So I have some rather bittersweet news for you. The Stampin' Up! Has decided to discontinue cling stamps. Those are the red rubber stamps, because the source for the red rubber is getting harder and harder to find. And more people are going to the photopolymer. Stampin' Up! Has such a good quality photopolymer that the desire to have those real crisp images that the red rubber give you actually happens with the photopolymer as well. I prefer the photopolymer because I can see exactly where I'm stamping with my image, and I can also see how much ink I have gotten on it. So this is the card, and what I'm going to do now is put it on a white 8.5 by 5.5 card base. And I'm going to pop up some of these so that they stand up a little more, using the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's see. That's a good one. So because they're going to be discontinuing the red rubber they decided to also discontinue the Stampin' Right markers. And that happened. They are moved to the last chance list. They were moved on the 20th. So if you don't have all the colors of the Stampin' Right markers yet, now's the time to get them before they sell out. There are ways, if they dry out, that you can re-ink them with the re-inkers, so that you're not completely out if they dry up. But I advise you to do it right soon. The one technique that requires, that requires the Stampin' Right markers is the direct to rubber technique, so that you can add multiple colors to the stamp and color it at one time with one stamping. But to get around that, Stampin' Up! Has already had two-step stamping, where they have two stamps, and the second one does the details, and sometimes there's even a third stamp that will add another color to the image. And in addition, they have developed some nice stencils so that you can sponge different colors onto the base image to get gradations of color. And so the direct to rubber technique is not quite as necessary as it used to be. So the markers are on the last chance now. The existing red rubber stamps will just sell out. And just won't be available. They're not going to move. They are not going to come out and reissue some of the favorite selling ones with into the photopolymer. Background stamps will be photopolymer, and as the different ones sell out of the catalogs and stuff, will be moving to all photopolymer. So there's that. And then on one of these samples, there was, like, I'll show you, like the edge was torn off, kind of like that. So I put a strip of DSP to cover up that part, and it kind of adds a nice contrast. This is from the traditional Christmas specialty designer series paper, especially because, as you can see, there's gold, embossed gold on the front sides. So we'll apply that there. And then a bow. We have, as part of the traditions of Christmas sweet, there is this red ribbon, and it's shiny on one side. It has kind of a gold sheen. Can you tell? Can you see that? The other side is not shiny. So the trick is, as you're tying a bow or a knot, so when it comes through like that, you're going to have the not shiny side. So you have to be deliberate about making sure that the shiny side comes out. And I would prefer that side of the knot, but it didn't happen, so we'll use this knot instead. Trim that off. I'm going to use a glue dot to put it down here. These glue dots come from the paper pumpkin kits. Because they give us some, excuse me, they give you such an abundance that there's always some left over. So there you have the bow. Now for the greeting. For the greeting, I'm using this set, this bundle, Traditional Labels. It's from the Traditional Christmas, Traditions of Christmas suite. So there's the traditional labels and there are the traditional label dies. And I particularly like this one, Season's Greetings. I also like Sending Love and Joy. And it matches up with this die. And there's a little trick to this. It depends on how you position your die, because this time I got it so that things line up pretty well. No, not quite. If it's even through here, it's not quite even through here. So then just turn it over. Oop. See how much, now that really is off. See how it doesn't curve quite right? So there is a definite way to position it over the stamp. Or you could cut the die first and then stamp. But I always like to stamp first so that if I do it crooked, I can adjust it with the die. So that is a little trick that I wanted to show you. But I have already cut it out. Season's Greetings. And I'll just pop that up with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Yeah, see, that's why you turn it over when it doesn't do right. And what's really cool about this is you've got embossed as well as die cut. So you have dimension to your label. And we'll put this on the card in center. Like so. And part of the suite, I'll go get a picture of the suite for you. It is a really big suite. It has the ribbon, it has 2 sets of dies, and it has 2 stamp sets. And then it has the embossing folder, which is a wreath. I'll get that to show you. It's called Traditional Wreath, and it is huge. It's like a 6-inch square. Let's see. Yeah, 10:4. So it's a really big one. You would need to make a big square card, or you could just use a fraction of the wreath. So that's part of this Traditions of Christmas. And then it has the sparkle traditional sparkling sequins. And that is what I'm going to use on my card to add a little bling. Now on the samples, I used red on one of them, and I used the gold on the other. I kind of like the gold better. But if you're watching this, leave a comment which you like better, whether you like the red or whether you like the gold sparkles. They are too big to put in place of the berries, unless you have just one covering up all the berries. So I'm going to put some gold sparkles on here. What I like about this is that they are flat, so that you don't have to worry about having too much volume. You can send these without extra postage. Okay, let's set one up here maybe. I always struggle as to how to be random with placement of that. So there's the card. Inside, you can stamp a greeting or handwrite a greeting. And then on the back, sign your card because you are an artist. So there's that card. Now I have some other ideas. First off, you can just emboss it, and you have just with a plain white card, or you can emboss with just plain green cardstock. You wouldn't get the white dots that way, but you would get a solid green. Or what I did, the other thing I did was I inked up with a stamp pad. I inked up the raised part by lightly running my stamp pad across like so. And I thought I was going to end up with the green up on top because I colored the raised things. But no, that's not the way it worked. If I inked this side, I would have green and white leaves and green background. But by inking the leaves, I ended up with a debossed, I should say, card, which I think is rather pretty. You would have to actually touch it to see that the leaves go down instead of up. So now you have this plain white one, and you can very lightly, let's get a sponge or a brush. You can very lightly add color to just the leaves. Like that. But I don't like the fact that it gets down below the leaves. So what I would do is use my Stampin' Blends to color by just adding color like that. Probably a little more carefully so that none of the white shows. And then color in the leaf. And then you get a really sharp image. That was kind of blunt. My point on my marker has been compromised. I kind of would like to start a marker exchange, a Stampin' Blends exchange, because it seems like you always have one of a pair that gets used up or ruined like that, but you have to buy a pair, so you end up with extras of the ones that you don't use that much. So I'd like to start an exchange where somebody could say, I need another shaded spruce dark. Does anybody have one? I'll send you a color that you need. So that's how you could do this. Another way you could do it with the colored cardstock is to use the soft pastel assortment. And scrape a little bit. Take your pick around. And scrape a little bit of color off, like this. And then use a Q-tip. Which I don't have on hand, but anyway, use a Q-tip to color in the thing. Or I guess your fingertip works pretty well too. Or a blender pen, a water blend pen. Pick up a little bit and then paint like that. Now the chalk will give you a much softer image. So there's a variety of things that you can do with this embossing folder. There is a stamp set that is bundled with it. I didn't get the stamp set because it's just greetings for the most part. No, I'll take that back. It has some flowers and things like that. But I had decided not to get the flowers. So there's some different ways that you can use the thing. With the dies that come with it, there's the word joy, and there's a couple of greeny things that cut out with the image, cut out the images. There's a star, and there's two rectangular labels that have stitching around the edges. So I'm excited about this set, and I hope you are too. It will be available starting the 3rd of September for you to order. And if you need a catalog, send me an email or text me, sue@soggystamper.com. My email is sue@soggystamper.com, and my blog is www.soggystamper.com. If you need any of these products, go to my online store. It's creationsbysue.stampin'.net, which is a lot to type in. So if you go to my blog and then tap on the upper right corner, there's a button that says Shop 24/7, and that will take you directly to my store, and you can place an order. And I thank you very much if you do. Here during the month of August, if you place a $50 order, I have as my gift, my thank you gift to you, I have a package of gold shaker stars. Which you can use for shaker cards, or you can take a little bit of glue, put it on your card, and then sprinkle them on. So that's my gift with purchase for a $50 purchase. So thank you for watching this, and have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you again next Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock for another Fabulous Friday Facebook Live. Bye-bye.